Bentrovati con il seminario jazz con il grande fisarmonicista Gil Goldstein. So welcome to the seminar with Gil Goldstein, the word accordion to Gil. We remember that this seminar will be held only in English, quindi il seminario si svolgerà soltanto in inglese, ma è doveroso, prima di dare il benvenuto al maestro, citare qualcosa sul suo curriculum. He is one of the greatest jazz accordionists in the world, but not only an accordionist, also a pianist and an arrangement maker. Among his collaborations, we must remember those with Pat Martino, Pat Metheny, Billy Cobham, Lee Konitz, Bob McFadden, and he collaborated also with the great filmmakers such as Ruichi Sakamoto and Bernardo Bertolucci in the movie Piccolo Buddha. Quindi diamo il benvenuto al maestro Gil Goldstein. So welcome, maestro. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to be here. Almost there.
Ecco, qua abbiamo anche il nostro direttore artistico Renzo Ruggeri che saluta il maestro.
Hello, maestro.
Hey, Renzo.
Hello, maestro. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
To see you. And thank you for inviting me to this. I am honored and humbled and excited.
It's our pleasure, our pleasure. Many jazz players will watch this seminary to waiting your special words. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is this really the first annual festival of this kind? This is the premio?
The audio is a little bit dark. We didn't understand.
Is this the first accordion competition of this time? It says premio.
Yes, we are in the 45th edition of this. Yes, okay. Yes, but this is the first time in this special way, in this streaming way.
I understand.
And it's nice, but okay, we wait all your words.
Okay, all right. Thank you all. And I'm going to turn my audio down because I hear a little return. Can you hear me well? Can everyone hear me? Renzo, can you hear me? Okay?
Yes, when you go a little bit, when you stay far from microphone, the audio became dark.
Okay.
Yes,
how's that?
Yes, now it's good. Now it's good.
Okay. All right. We don't need to show the first slide yet. I just wanted to talk about my beginnings as an accordionist, because I started playing accordion at age 5 in Baltimore, Maryland. And are we okay, Renzo?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and my first accordion was a little 12 bass, and then I graduated to a Leighton size accordion, which I honestly still play and is a favorite of Bobby McFerrin's, who I play with for many years. And also when I played with Pat Metheny, he loved that accordion. It was very easy to travel with, and it still sounds great after all these years. At some point, while I was playing accordion, I started to play piano, a little bit of cello, but you know, my first instrument was accordion, and it still feels like my true first instrument and true love of an instrument. But I didn't play it for many years, and then I rediscovered it when I was 30, and I brought it to New York, where I was living at the time, and I started to play with Michel Petrucciani, and I got to play with Jim Hall and also Pat Metheny. And then gradually I met Bill Evans, and so I started to become an arranger, and it was essential for me to because I feel that added virtue to understand overtones and sounds and the combining of sounds. Then in the 90s, I had the opportunity to do 2 tours with Richard Galliano, and I had the great pleasure to connect with the Victoria Accordions, Ricardo and Elke Brescia, and I upgraded my accordion quality significantly, and I love these accordions, and it's changed my whole approach to playing the instrument. As an arranger, you heard a little bit about what I did, but I'm always trying to use accordion in my arrangements. A lot of people know me from my work with Mike Brecker, and my first arrangement for Mike Brecker was done in Bologna, Italy, and I did an arrangement of African Skies, and I played accordion. And we did one version of the song, and the second time we had to do an encore, and Mike said, "You play the solo this time on accordion." So that was a great honor. And then I ended up producing two of his records, his unfortunately final two records. And the last record he had planned to do was, is everything okay, Renzo? I see you signaling. Everything good?
Yes, everything is okay. Okay. Sometimes we lost some word, but mostly it's good.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'll slow down a little. Okay. Mike was going to do a record showing his tribute, his inspiration of Bulgarian music, and he had been working with a great Bulgarian accordionist who was living in New York, Ivan Milev, and a violinist named Encho Todorov. And there would have been a lot of accordion on that record. Unfortunately, we didn't get to complete it, but we did the record Pilgrimage, which used some of that material. And also, you know, the accordion for me has been my guide to crossing into so many other cultures, like playing with Richard and the incredible French musette music he plays, as well as all the other great styles that he's a master of. And I also got to record with and arrange for Juliet Greco, and did two lovely records with her. I was able to play accordion on the last Abbey Lincoln record also, which is one of the favorite records that I ever did. I did arrangements for two accordions and two cellos. I played both accordions, and a great cellist, Dave Agar, played the cello. Also, the great Polish singer, Anna Maria Jopek. I have produced her record called Polana, which is special to me, and I got to play a lot of accordion on that with Gonzalo Rubalcaba on piano. Also, the Spanish musicians, Carlos Benavent and Jorge Pardo, I feel very near and dear to. I've recorded with them. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to go to a video. I don't want to lose anyone, so let's get to some music. I did two records with Bobby McFerrin, both which featured a lot of accordion, and I've worked with Bobby for over 20 years, and I'm actually starting a new project with him as of yesterday, but I can't tell you what it is, but it'll be a new project. The second project that we did was called Spiritual, and we did American spirituals, and I arranged them in a style that Bobby would gravitate to, and we collaborated very much on the arrangements. And this is a performance of an orchestral version. The version we did was a small group. It was Esperanza Spalding on bass, a great guitarist, Larry Campbell, on guitar, me on accordion and keyboards, and we had a couple different drummers. But this is a large orchestra. We did a whole concert in Gdansk, Poland. I would say about 5 or 6. And this is an arrangement, a song that actually won a Grammy for that record called Swing Low. And if we could go to video number 7, we'll see that. And yeah.
Coming for to carry me home. Sweet love, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me. And what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming for me, coming for to carry me If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, coming for to carry me home. But still my soul is heavily bound, coming for to carry me chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sweet love, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Wow, fantastic video, fantastic arrangement. Wow, thank you for
Thank
this
you so
wonderful gift.
Thank you. You know, it's a gift for me. I feel so lucky to be able to connect with somebody like Bobby. And I just wondered if there are any questions at this point. So I'm just not drilling on with talk, you know.
Maestro, don't forget to stay near microphone. It's more clear, your voice. Thank you, thank you.
I just wondered, were there any questions about this performance arranging in general?
See, it's arrived some questions for you if you want to answer. The
Great.
first,
I would love to.
yes, the first question is, Maestro, what do you think about accordion inside a big orchestra? You think it's better soloist, or you think it's better to use in ensemble, in the section of the orchestra?
I think the answer is both. I think it's great to have it as a soloistic instrument. A couple of years ago, I wrote a piece for the, I think it was, we performed it in Vicenza. I don't remember the place we performed it. But it's online. It's called The World Accordion. And it was a solo, you know, it featured the accordion, me, as a solo voice. But I would say I love the idea of the accordion as a accompanimental instrument. And I think it's one of the greatest accompaniment instruments that there is.
Yes, and
when piano or guitar in terms of jazz or organ, I think there's no question that the accordion can cover so many bases. You know, it can have a quality of strings, of woodwinds, of brass, and, you know, the chords can be very transparent. Like, you know, these are my favorite chords of the days, where you have a little bit of, you know, there's a lot of tension on the outer voices, dissonant intervals, like a D and a C, or a C major. And all you need is maybe two other notes. You know, and you have beautiful, vibrant chords that don't present a big wall of sound, but rather something that can really accompany.
Yes,
you know, and I think the accordion is the best instrument to get that going.
Yes, I am happy about your answer, because I think exactly like you. The best sounds of accordion is the pure sounds, because when it's too much, it's maybe for soloist, for other style, but in orchestra must be pure. Thank you.
I think also in terms of as an arranger, I also try to, you know, not overwhelm with chords. I try to keep the simplest intervals. If I could, for a moment, I could jump to the answer to that question, to the
yes, we have 3-4 questions. When you want, you can answer. You want second questions?
Let's have the,
okay.
If I could have the second image for a moment.
Okay. Okay, the second image.
I have it. You know, I just wanted to explain to everyone that I think that the Overtone series, that we all know, but maybe we're not as, you know, up to speed with, is a very important concept about how to keep things very transparent. The first interval in the Overtone series is an octave. If we go A3 to A4, the speed of those two pitches is 2 to 1. The polyrhythm of 2 to 1. Now, that is duration. And this is what nature gives us as a, as a rule of music. This overtone series also traces the history of music. Music has unfolded rhythmically and intervallically along this path, and we're still exploring up into the upper reaches. The second interval is 3 against 2, and that really generated our whole musical series, because if we travel up, we arrive at a major scale with the Lydian fourth. So right there, it has given us the entire major scale. That's where it derives from. The other interesting thing to me is that, and I think it's worth saying, especially in Italy, is everyone aware of the Fibonacci series? That's a number series that an Italian mathematician, human being, discovered. And the series is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So every number adds up. 1 and 1 gives us 2. 2 and 1 gives us 3. 3 and 2, gives us 5. And we see that that's a very organic interval, 3 against 2, and I think it's important to train ourselves to know the importance of those intervals and how they relate back to nature. And then as chords follow up this series, as we incorporate higher vibrations, the chords become richer and more vibrant. And it doesn't need a lot of additional information. Gil Evans, who I had the honor of knowing and working with, he said to me that his chords were church harmony plus 1 note. So church harmony kind of occurs down in the lower reaches. And then if you add in 1 extra note, we get that, that increase in vibration, but yet the organic church harmony is still there. I just thought I would put that in. I think it's an important thing to go over the numbers of the overtone series and become familiar with them. Okay, I just wanted to put that in. Are there any? Can I take another question, if there's another question?
Yes, some young students ask some advices to get a better jazz phrasing.
Well, I mean, to me, that's a hard question to answer, because it implies a lot of things. We're talking harmonically, we're talking rhythmically, and it's. I always recommend to play along with recordings of great musicians, and to play along with, a lot of times we don't have the ability to play with a Bobby McFerrin or a Mike Brecker, but we can play along with recordings of them, and we can sense, their rhythmic feel. I was very lucky to play with Jim Hall for many years, and before I played with him, I would play along with recordings of the Jim Hall Trio, and I would play along as if it was the Jim Hall Quartet, and I would comp for him, and I would solo, sometimes, and this prepared me to play with Jim. And once I did with Jim, it felt very familiar. So It's an irreplaceable thing to do. The other thing that a lot of jazz players do not do, which is kind of an oversight in our education, is to practice rhythm. And if I could show slide number 3, it also comes from the overtone theory. But let me just show you what I mean by this.
Number 3, image number 3.
Number 3, thank you, Brian.
Yes, thank you.
Now, so this is basically a way that you can think of how to look at the different intervallic and rhythmic relationships from the overtone theory.
Yeah.
So the first one on the left upper corner is 3 against 2. So that implies that there's 3 beats and each one has 2 pulses, and against 2 beats which has 3 pulses. So we see that the first attack comes together, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Everyone kind of knows the polyrhythm of 3 against 2, but it's really great to practice this in a way that you think 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That you really feel the 3 against the 2. Then we move up. We go to 4 against 3, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. To me, it's kind of a 12/8 pattern, but if we start to practice these and get them really into our body, really, I think it makes a big difference about how you play, because so much of jazz is playing against a set pulse. And the freer we can be with that pulse, the more jazzy it can feel. And, great players like Mike Brecker, like John Coltrane, Herbie Hancock, they have so much freedom against the pulse, but they always know where it is. And that, to me, is 90% of jazz phrasing, if you can be relaxed against the pulse and possibly imply some of these higher polyrhythmic relationships.
That's good.
So
Thank you.
I really recommend to practice this. Make a whole study of polyrhythms. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there another question?
Yes, somebody asked your technically or sound or how you chose your sounds with accordion. We are speaking about only the sounds of the accordion. What is that you do when you take accordion and chose to play in orchestra, in solo, and what register you use in right and in left?
Yes. Okay. I tend to prefer the clarinet register. I just love the quality of that sound. Occasionally, I use the bassoon register, but personality-wise, I feel more relaxed in the clarinet. And with the left hand, this accordion, I use the high stradella bass, high registers, and I find a lot of ways to create and combine chords. you know, I kind of do it like that. And then also when I solo, you know, I can go. You know, I can kind of incorporate that. And again, it's using the idea that I'm not overcomping for myself and, you know, I'm not filling up too much space with my left hand. I'm not a big fan of, you know, using the bass register and the chords necessarily from the accordion, only occasionally in a kind of a light way. Otherwise, I like to keep it, you know, 2 and 4, up to 4 notes, you know, and keep it very thin.
Yes, I am so happy about this answer because I did the same work some years ago, and I use this register for my student too, because I think you can have much more harmony in your left hand, but you can use a standard bass that for jazz maybe has a sound more compact, more, and in this way you can have both, no? Standard sounds, but some free notes. So I am so happy that you, the great artists like you, did the same. So thank you very much for this answer.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm happy we agree on
And
that. You know,
and just one thing, Maestro, I just want to tell that it's like for me like challenge every time I go with I change accordion, or every time I speak in Castelfidardo to propose this register. No, it's very difficult to that somebody accept. We have the mentality to use many sounds. More sounds, it's better. But in accordion, I think now it's different time, a totally different time. The new accordion must be less sounds is better. And I am so happy that you have absolutely the same idea. So thank you very much.
you know, years ago when I did work with Richard Galliano, he recommended to me the quint system for the Stradella bass, which everyone knows is, you know, 3 lines of, and I'm still working on that, but I'm, you know, that's
I
still
know.
that's still a goal of mine to, you know, to incorporate a couple more, you know, because it does get a little frustrating that we can't do, you know, intervals without out of the octave, like a, you know, a ninth. You're always obligated to a whole step, you know. But in the general picture of things, I don't think, you know, to me, if we're talking, the other point that I wanted to get to today, and let me move over to this thing that I wanted to talk about. To me, the most important thing about jazz soloing and harmony is that we create a line of pitches that moves through a solo, and that when we compose, we also show that line. Does everyone know what I mean by that? That there's like the work of Heinrich Schenker, where he showed in Mozart and Beethoven and Brahms, that there was a very consistent pitch, you know, that goes through the piece, and that's the background, and then there's a foreground that attaches to that. Here's a little, I wanted to play, I was remembering as I started playing the accordion in Baltimore, and maybe I was 7 years old, and I discovered that I could play by ear, and I did that by my mother, who knew a lot about jazz, asked me to play the song I Could Have Danced All Night, which everybody kind of knows, right? So that was one of the first songs that I ever played by ear. I still wonder how it might have sounded, you know, as well. Okay. It was maybe a little bit like that. But to me, in that song, if we look at that song, look at the pitch in the key of C, it's the most important pitch we end up on is C. So the phrase ends on D, but it's not the D, a major seventh, a minor seventh below it. The pitch is really, the register doesn't matter. The pitch of the song moves from da, 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 to da, da. The pitch progresses to a D, and then back to C, to B, and then to E. So it's gone C, E, and then it's up to G sharp, and G, D again. Now it goes up to D. And to F is the finale. So really, in the end, the pitches have made a very clear and simple path.
Yes, Maestro, my mobile, many questions for you.
Okay, good, good.
If you want, obviously you decide. Yes, it's very interesting, very interesting questions. The last one that ask you, what do you think about the bebop language and for accordion, obviously, the bebop language for accordion, and for you, what can be the artist to listen for accordionist?
Okay. You know, I mean, bebop for me was still my original excitement and introduction into jazz. And Charlie Parker and all the great bebop players are very dedicated to the idea of a line in a solo. You know, that is intrinsic in every solo. In terms of who I listen to, it's totally a matter of taste, I believe. You know, I have people that over the years I just listen to over and over, like Bill Evans. You know, Bill Evans is probably the most.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go. It's finished. That answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have another 20 minutes. I have seen in your videos fantastic video. Maybe people appreciate so much now what you chose.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's get to them because I'm happy to, you know, it's to refer back to them too.
But we have many other questions, so you decide.
Okay. Well, let's see what we can play. I would love to play the number 8 video. This was
number 8.
Number 8. This is an accordionist that I'm totally enamored with. His name is Gil Goldstein. I hope all of you know him. He's really, you know, he's someone that came from a totally different world than me. You know, he was in competitions from very young age. He's a real maestro of the accordion, I have to say, you know. And he asked me very kindly to write an arrangement of the song Giant Steps for him. Wow. He was aware of some things I did with Joe Lovano, and he was very kind to me to be kind of a fan of mine, but I returned the favor being a total fan of his, and you know, amazed by what he can do on the accordion, and everyone should check him out. So I was so time, two great trumpeters in Germany, and that I go to Portugal and record this duet with him. And this is the arrangement I did for Giant Steps for two accordions. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, video number. Okay.
Sorry, I wanted to turn up my master. Oh, okay, here we go. One. That was nice.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Oh yes, very interesting harmony on Giant Steps.
Well, I mean, the harmony I took from, exactly from Giant Steps, but I tried to use what Mike Brecker called his favorite scale, which was a half step. So I used that, as the basis of the sound. And then what sounded like we were kind of getting lost was I used 5/2. It's using a group of 5/2. You know, so, I mean, generally, those are really difficult to play, but it's nice if you can increase the vocabulary. And people, like Mike and Pat, they kind of do that naturally, and we're trying to proceed to that level.
Okay, can I ask my personal question?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Maestro. I like to, not I like, for me it's necessary to do this. I need to compose melody with accordion and realize arrangement in piano. What is your way to arrange and your way to compose melodies?
Well, I do like to have the accordion on my body when I'm doing arrangements. More and more these days, I work, sometimes I can get an idea at the piano, but very quickly I move to Sibelius that I write into. And I leave the piano very quickly. And I just go to the accordion to check something sometimes. But most of my work is done without an instrument, I would say. But of course, I hear it in Sibelius when I input it. But I'm trying to imagine it in my internal head and then get it into the arrangement.
Thank you very much, Maestro. And another questions, it's a question. It's what was your artist, the reference artist? What do you listen?
Yeah. Again, Bill Evans, I still always go back to Bill because Bill was someone, well, actually, let me make a little commercial introduction here. This is a book that I wrote.
No? Okay, stop. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, it's okay. That's okay. Show us. It's possible to order by internet.
Yes, it's available on Shot Music. It was originally published on Advanced Music, and it's still out there. And it's a book that I wrote many years ago, but I still think the subjects are very important. And it was through this book that I got to meet Bill Evans. And I interviewed 20 jazz composers about their process of composing. And Bill Evans was one of them. And I asked him to write the foreword to the book, which he did. And he was a very inspiring and funny and kind person, as well as a great musician. So it was through that book that I got to meet him. And in addition to him, and also related name-wise in a way, is Gil Evans, who I met in 1983 when I was working with Billy Cobham. He did a concert with Gil, and I played on that concert, and I got to work with Gil for many years before he passed away. And that changed my whole reference as an arranger. And that's when I decided to become an arranger, was through that meeting and through hearing his music and meeting him as a person, how, free, honestly, that he was, as a musician and, unuptight. He was not uptight. And that's what I always strive for in my arrangements. fun, as well as, another thing is when I would look arrangements of Gil Evans, when I could do that, when I knew him, they looked incredibly simple to me. There's one arrangement that I love called Nobody's Heart. And the first two chords I just did. That's how open it was, It's kind of an E minor going to a C7, A and B going, and then the melody. It's just, everything is in its own register and it's open and beautiful. So, that's kind of where I became aware of that idea of people sitting thin and uncluttered.
Okay, Maestro, we are near to finish. You know that we have the time very, very short, and we have another video. Maybe we can watch the last video, and then you can say somebody can say some words again to say regards to our. I am sure many followers. So if you want, we can send the last video, and then we say regards.
It might go a little over time, but let's see how we do, and then I'll be back and we'll answer the final question. This is a video that I did with Bobby McFerrin again.
Okay,
and
okay,
it was
okay.
Oh.
Sen
io mai io modo cosa ma Luca con pensa fis ti sembri un tu che ne vada bravo ba go pesi che guarda da ti vedo vita se na
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Maestro.
Thank you, Lana.
Unfortunately, our time together is over because we must go on with the competition. But really, we would like to tell you that it was a great pleasure to have you here. And so thank you very much for your words. Thank you very much for your advice. And we really hope to have you here with us again.
And thanks for inviting me. It was an honor and a pleasure. And I look forward to meeting everyone that was watching in the future, in the world, when we can all meet and hug again.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.